There was once a man who spent 15 years pursuing a single ambition. When he first set out, he was certain of where he was headed. He could see the destination clearly in his mind. He believed that if he worked diligently enough, sacrificed enough, and persisted long enough, success would eventually be his, and so he devoted himself to the pursuit. Year after year he studied, year after year he practiced. He endured disappointments that would have discouraged most men. He suffered setbacks, he made mistakes, he corrected them and continued forward. Whenever success seemed near, it somehow remained just beyond his reach. Yet he refused to quit. For 15 years he carried that dream. Then one evening, after another day that yielded little reward for his efforts, he sat quietly and asked himself a question he had avoided for a very long time. What if this is no longer my road? The thought troubled him, not because he feared hard work, not because he lacked courage, but because he had invested so much of himself in the journey. 15 years of effort, 15 years of hope, 15 years of believing. To change direction felt at first like surrender. But as he reflected upon those years, he began to notice something he had never fully appreciated before. The young man who had started that journey 15 years earlier was gone. In his place stood a man of experience, a man who knew how to solve problems, a man who understood people, a man who had learned patience through waiting, a man who had learned courage through disappointment, a man who had learned persistence through adversity. The destination had eluded him, but the journey had transformed him. For the first time, he stopped asking himself whether he had reached his goal. Instead, he asked a different question. What has this pursuit made of me? That question changed everything, for he suddenly realized that the years had not been wasted. Every setback had taught him something. Every failure had strengthened him. Every obstacle had developed abilities he did not possess when he began. The journey had been preparing him. Not necessarily for the future he had imagined, but for the future he was now capable of creating. The following year, he chose a different path, and something remarkable happened. The knowledge he had acquired, the discipline he had developed, the wisdom he had earned, the skills he had gathered, all came with him. Nothing was lost. The years he once viewed as disappointments became advantages. The lessons he once viewed as burdens became assets. And perhaps most surprising of all, he felt lighter. The weight he had carried for so long disappeared. The constant need to force one particular dream into existence vanished. The struggle to prove himself faded away. For the first time in years, he felt renewed, not because life had become easier, but because he was no longer fighting against himself. There is a lesson in that story. Many people spend years believing that success is measured only by the attainment of a specific goal. They assume that if they do not arrive exactly where they intended, then the journey must have been a failure. But that is not how life works. Success is not merely found in reaching a destination. Success is found in growth. Success is found in character. Success is found in the wisdom acquired through effort. A man may pursue one opportunity and discover another. A woman may chase one ambition and uncover a greater purpose. A dream may change without being defeated. A road may end without the traveler being lost. Indeed, many of the greatest achievements in life begin with an unexpected change in direction. The inventor who fails in one endeavor often applies his knowledge to another. The businessman whose first venture collapses frequently builds a stronger one using lessons learned from the first. The leader who experiences disappointment gains insight unavailable to those who have never struggled. Nothing of value is ever truly wasted. The knowledge remains. The experience remains, the character remains, the confidence remains, and these things become part of a story that belongs to you alone. No one possesses your exact experiences. No one has faced your precise challenges. No one has learned the exact lessons you have learned. Your journey is uniquely yours. Even the chapters that seem disappointing today may one day become the very chapters that gave you your greatest strength. Therefore, there are times when persistence is required, and there are times when wisdom requires a change of course. Both demand courage. To continue when others quit requires courage. To redirect your efforts when necessary also requires courage. The important thing is not whether you remain on the same road forever. The important thing is whether you continue growing, whether you continue learning, whether you continue advancing toward a life of greater purpose. And now, allow me to speak directly to you. If you are carrying a dream that has become a burden, do not condemn yourself. If you are tired, do not assume you are defeated. If you have spent years striving towards something that has not unfolded as you expected, do not conclude that those years were wasted. They were shaping you. They were teaching you. They were preparing you. You possess knowledge today that you did not possess years ago. You possess strength today that you earned through struggle. You possess wisdom today that cannot be purchased at any price. Do not overlook these riches simply because they arrived in a different form than you expected. If the time has come to continue forward, then continue with confidence. If the time has come to pivot, pivot without shame. Carry every lesson with you. Carry every victory with you. Carry every disappointment with you, for they have all contributed to the person you have become. Remember this: a dream that changes is not necessarily a dream that failed. A road that ends is not necessarily a dead end, and a season of disappointment is not necessarily the end of your story. The future has a remarkable way of rewarding those who refuse to waste the lessons of the past. Trust what you have learned. Trust what you have become. And above all, trust that your greatest opportunity may still lie ahead of you.